When builders try to scale up a 12-volt solar power system to handle heavy loads, they run into a physical wall. The wiring required becomes a tangled mess of stiff, unyielding copper that barely fits inside a standard utility enclosure. At this scale, the economics break down. The massive gauge of the raw copper conductors begins to cost nearly as much as the power inverter itself. Most DIY builders assume they are simply dealing with standard system inefficiency. The reality is tied directly to the strict thermodynamic physics governing low-voltage DC architecture. We can contrast those massive 12-volt cables with the highly integrated, sleek wiring found on a modern 48-volt server rack battery system carrying the exact same power. To understand why that visual difference exists, we have to calculate the math behind it. We need to prove exactly how scaling up the system voltage alters the geometric scaling of both heat generation and copper mass. Transitioning to 48 volts keeps the physical demands of energy transfer within manageable limits, even as total power requirements grow. We start with the three bedrock variables of electrical power: the total watts, the system volts, and the flowing amps. We can discard the simplified tutorials that explain this using water flowing through pipes. In heavy-duty power systems, those analogies fail to communicate the real danger of thermal stress. We will use a strict baseline testing parameter, a heavy-duty 3,000-watt off-grid inverter load. The central question is what happens to the physical wiring required to sustain this exact 3,000-watt load as we manipulate the system voltage. The mathematics behind that single variable will dictate whether a solar system safely powers a home or physically melts its own terminations. The power formula dictates that power equals voltage multiplied by current. Isolating current, we get I equals P divided by V. Calculating the current draw for a 3,000-watt load at 12 volts, 3,000 divided by 12 yields a massive 250 amps. Routing 250 amps continuously requires maximum gauge copper conductors and incredibly heavy busbars, and it restricts your cable run distances to almost zero. If we recalculate the formula for a 24-volt system, the exact same 3,000-watt power load now draws only 125 amps. Pushing the system to 48 volts drops the required current down to just 62.5 amps. Reducing the continuous current to a quarter of its original value allows you to use vastly smaller wire. It makes cable routing flexible and creates a massive drop in the cost of raw materials. Scaling to high voltage acts as a literal space-saving mechanism, directly shrinking the physical footprint required to transfer energy. Beyond physical copper mass, large off-grid solar arrays face an invisible threat: resistive heat generation. Look at this thermal heat map overlaid with Joule's law of heating. This equation governs exactly how much energy is wasted as heat inside your cables. The critical detail here is the exponent. The current variable is squared. Heat does not scale linearly with amperage. Because of that square, if your continuous current doubles, the physical heat generated inside your wiring increases by a factor of 4. Applying this to a 24 volts upgrade, cutting current in half drops thermal stress by a factor of 4. Taking the final step to 48 volts quarters the 250 amp load to 62.5 amps. Squaring that reduction reveals the 48-volt system generates 16 times less heat. This exact mathematical reduction is what allows builders to clear the extreme thermal bottlenecks found at the lugs, breakers, and busbars of 12-volt systems. Professional installers validate this drop in component stress continuously in the field, using clamp meters and thermal imaging cameras. Upgrading to 48 volts mathematically bypasses the geometric penalty of thermal physics. Energy is lost simply by traveling through the resistance of a long wire. We measure this as voltage drop. This chart shows how tiny absolute voltage losses translate into massive percentages of total power in low-voltage DC architectures. Losing just 1 volt across a long cable run on a 12-volt system equals a crippling 8.3% power loss. In the field, an 8.3% drop manifests as severe battery sag. The inverter falsely detects a dead battery bank and initiates a system shutdown. If a 48-volt system experiences that exact same 1-volt cable loss, the percentage drops to a negligible 2%. Moving to 48 volts changes the geometry of an installation. Builders can now run long cable distances from the solar array to the battery bank without triggering low-voltage disconnects. There is a common phrase repeated across tutorial channels: 48 volts uses smaller wire. Builders frequently mistake this as permission to use undersized wiring for every component in their setup. The math we just calculated applies to continuous operating wattage. It does not account for the sudden, massive startup surge current required to start heavy motor loads. Even at 48 volts, a heavy inverter surge will instantly melt undersized cables that were only calculated to handle baseline continuous loads. The engineering does not end with voltage. You must still calculate for ambient temperature ratings, precise cable length limits, and the exact insulation thresholds of the wire. Voltage scaling drastically reduces overall copper volume, but it does not replace the requirement for rigorous ampacity engineering. While 48-volt systems simplify continuous current management, they simultaneously increase the severity of potential fault currents. A dead short in a large 48-volt series battery bank can instantly deliver thousands of destructive instantaneous amps. Standard AC-rated breakers are utterly useless in this scenario. They lack the specialized magnetic chutes required to extinguish sustained high-voltage DC arcs. Loose torque specs or an unbalanced battery management system in a series configuration can cause cascading failures that vaporize hand tools in milliseconds. For any off-grid system scaling above 3,000 watts, 48 volts is the definitive engineering choice because it neutralizes the thermodynamic bottlenecks of heavy copper mass and severe heat loss. Graduating to this voltage level requires a shift in engineering focus. Protecting against high-energy DC faults becomes the primary safety priority, as physical cable mass becomes less of a concern.